In Section 5, we'll dive into documentation. First, we'll look at some of the more common terms before moving on to the different versions of the 510K and their criteria. We'll finally take a brief look at the PMA. The fourth step in bringing your device to market in the US is the preparation and submission of your dossier. There are many terms used throughout the regulatory industry, and it's important to understand these terms for documentation purposes. Some of the more common ones include predicate device. This is a medical device already legally marketed in the US, selected for the purposes of substantial equivalence as part of the FDA 510K submission. Substantial equivalence indicates that the device has the same intended use as a device already marketed in the US and has similar technological characteristics of that device. Intended use refers to the objective intent for the labeling of the device. The intent is determined by labeling claims, advertising matter, or oral and written statements. In the medical device world, the intended use plays a critical role in how the device is viewed by the FDA. The 510K is a pre-market notification submitted to the FDA demonstrating that the device is at least as safe and effective, substantially equivalent, as a legally marketed device, predicate device. This is a requirement primarily for Class II devices. Manufacturers of all medical devices intended for human use that do not require a PMA must submit a 510K application to the FDA unless the device in question is exempt from the Federal Food, Drug, and Cosmetics Act. If the FDA finds the device substantially equivalent to a predicate device, clearance will be granted and the marketing of the product may be initiated in the US. There are three types of 510K applications: traditional, special, and abbreviated. Whether or not the medical device qualifies for FDA 510K review depends on how the device is classified in the US FDA regulatory system and whether it is substantially equivalent to a predicate device already marketed in the US. The following cases require 510K applications. Introducing a new medical device into commercial distribution in the US for the first time. Proposing a different intended use for a device already cleared for sale and distribution in the US. Or changing and modifying a legally marketed device in such a way that significantly affects device safety or effectiveness. The following are some reasons a 510K submission is not required. You sell unfinished devices to other firms for further processing or assembly. You distribute another firm's domestically manufactured device that already has a 510K. You repackage or relabel another manufacturer's device. Your device was legally marketed and distributed before May 28, 1976, and you can prove it. You import a foreign-made device into the US that already has a 510K, or your device is exempt from 510K requirements according to Regulation 21 CFR 862-892. Most medical devices will require a traditional 510K unless it meets certain criteria. A traditional 510K includes the most extensive product documentation for FDA review. The image displayed is not an exaggeration. An abbreviated 510K includes summary reports demonstrating the use of guidance documents, special controls, or declarations of conformity to recognized standards. Qualification depends upon whether or not a device-specific guidance document exists that narrows or standardizes pre-market review questions regarding your device. Other special controls have been established that narrow or standardize pre-market review questions, or the FDA has recognized a device-specific standard applicable to the device that covers aspects of design and performance. A special 510K allows submission, review, and clearance for a modified medical device that has already been cleared for sale in the US. Qualifications depend on whether or not the requested device modification is made to a legally marketed product and is submitted by the product's owner. The device's intended use and fundamental technology are not changed by the proposed modification, utilizes the design control aspects of the quality system regulation. The Pre-Market Approval Application, or PMA, is a requirement for Class III devices. These are exceedingly rare, with fewer than 10% of all medical devices requiring one. This is because of a number of factors, including the need for clinical trial data, the extraordinary length of time associated with the process, and of course, expense. We won't spend much time here, but more information is available at our website, emergogroup.com. To give you an idea of how long it takes to get your device to market, take a look at this chart. As you can plainly see, Class 3 devices can take up to 2 years and longer, whereas Class 1 and 2 devices require a fraction of that time. In this section, we cover terminology associated with 510K submissions and the 510K variations. We also looked at each of their requirements and ended with a glimpse at what a PMA entails. The next section takes a look at in-country representation.